We spoke about India's pollution problem yesterday, especially the smog. We know how it affects the human body. Your lifespan gets cut. You develop breathing issues, sometimes even heart attacks. But tonight, we are not looking at the health impact. Tonight, we are looking at how smog could affect India's growth story, how it is affecting brand India. First, let's establish the link. Take a look at this report from 2015. It talks about then US President Barack Obama's visit to India. The visit was in the month of January, so peak smog season in New Delhi. Now look at the headline. Mr. President, the world's worst air is taking 6 hours off your life. That's not all. Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, skipped most public events. She stayed in her suite all day. Again, pollution was blamed. Do you see the problem now? Obama was the first US president to attend India's Republic Day parade. It was a key moment in India-US relations. But what was the headline? The air quality. It's the same story with the Cricket World Cup. The tournament is India's chance to shine. Our team is doing really well. But look at the headlines. Choking smog shrouds Cricket World Cup. Bangladesh plays Sri Lanka amid very unhealthy pollution in New Delhi. Air pollution sparks alarm, dims World Cup cheer in India. And don't dismiss these as random headlines. Investors read them. Corporate leaders read them. And when they do, it impacts their thinking. Let me explain. Around 50% of India's GDP comes from outdoor sectors like construction or farming. Compare that ratio to Europe. There's only 25%. So if the air is bad, these workers will suffer, their productivity will drop. And the result? Some sort of impact on 50% of India's GDP. It's hard to say how much. One study mentioned losses up to $95 billion every year. That's around 2.5% of the GDP. The World Bank also published a paper. It said 4.5% of the GDP could be at risk by 2030. And that's not just because of air pollution, it's because of climate change at large. Either way, my point is quite simple. Air pollution affects the economy. It can also scare away investors. Just look at the situation in China. Many studies have linked China's air quality to investments. One of them was quite comprehensive. It looked at more than 2,000 firms in 230 Chinese cities. And what did they find? Higher pollution equals poor investments. There's a margin of 7 to 8%. Take any sector, it's the same story. Like tourism. One of the biggest attractions in India is the Taj Mahal. But look at it now. We showed you the pictures yesterday. It's shrouded in smog. Not to mention the health risks. Imagine falling sick on your holiday. It's guaranteed to ruin your whole plan. And going forward, this will be a major issue because India is increasingly in the global spotlight. Just think back to September. New Delhi hosted the G20 Leaders Summit. What if this meeting was held this month or in December? The headlines would have been very different. And governments need to understand this. You can give all the tax breaks you want, all the subsidies and cheap labor. But that alone is not enough. You must live somewhere to work there. And right now, India's capital is borderline unlivable. The air quality index touched 500 last week. The ideal level? 0 to 50. We are at 500. Such readings have given the city a dark nickname, a gas chamber. That's what Delhi has become. So how do we solve this problem? Well, the first step is acknowledgement. Every government says pollution is the byproduct of development, sort of like a necessary evil. But data says the opposite. Pollution is choking our citizens. It is affecting economic output. It is driving away investors and it's dimming brand India. Our leaders must admit that first to tackle this problem.